particular with this particular characteristics, okay, that apple and orange, that is being presented to a hungry person. Okay, so what will be his or her choice? Is it will be so much easier like you? No? Okay, it will be much more complex than, little bit complex than that one. Okay, just you think that you are hungry for the 2 days, you are like I came from the Varanasi to this Dharwad. Okay, so I left Varanasi at around 8 in the morning. Okay, I came here around 9. Okay, so in between that maybe, okay, so I did not take anything in the afternoon. Okay, it was costly, fast of things, and secondly, I don't like to eat in the plane. Okay, so anyway, so after that, if you facing that situation and then you are provided with these two options, so there maybe your choice will be both of them. So if you are hungry, your choice may change. Okay, now you just, so I introduce three particular. First one is the characteristics of this particular product, then the characteristics of the decision maker. Okay, now you think that you are hungry, you are provided with this choice of these two particular fruits, and along with that you are told that you have been told that you have to pay for this. So now how your choice will be? It will be different one maybe. Okay, depending on the characteristics like hungriness, how much hungry you are, how much money do you have in the pocket, all those things. Okay, so in actuality what I am trying to demonstrate, okay, that till now, okay, the criteria I was giving, so those are basically simple criteria based on which, like hungriness, you have to you have to pay for that means that cost. Okay, so either they are simple criteria or those are basically quantitative criteria. Okay, so but in the social science, basically the criteria, concept, what you are construct, whatever deal with, okay, so most of them are much more subjective in nature. Those are not directly quantifiable or direct. Okay, quantity we can easily understand. Okay, but as it become more and more complex, it is not directly understandable. Okay, like one of the simple example is that like that happen in the case of most of your life. Like everyone, you have the mobile or this handset, and now it become a trend that within the 2 years or 2-3 years maximum, you generally use a handset, then you go for the new one. Okay, so I think everyone have you some at the some time means within the 1 year or before 1-2 years, so you bring your actually this mobile or decided to which mobile you have to buy. Okay, so you remember or you try to feel that situation, that how you decided that which mobile to buy. Okay, and just compare the decision that many of you who are in the social science, as far I know, okay, that they came in this field because they did not get into the any which we call so-called science, like basic science field. Okay, it is a common situation. Like in the agriculture also, those people came who cannot get their seat in IIT and the medical. So that is the third choice for the agriculture, and after that it basically happened like that. But just you think that when you completed your graduation, how much think or how much contact or how much communication you make within yourself as well as the expert or your professor guide, that to choose that on which subject area you have to complete your masters or you have to pursue your masters. Okay, so it was much more complex and time taking process than your mobile phone purchasing. Okay, so why this process becomes so much complex? Why this process become so much time taking or pain taking? Okay, because it is the point is that if you increase the subjectivity in your decision, okay, whenever you introduce subjectivity in your decision, that decision making become much more crucial or much more complex. Okay, so as you increase the level of subjectivity, that complexness will also increase. And in actuality in social science, most of the decisions are actually based on the even in your everyday life. Okay, you knowingly or unknowingly you make your decision which are subjective in nature. Okay, so now that means 2 points is there, that subjectivity increase the uncertainty, that increase the complexity of the decision making. Second one is that if you convert that subjectivity into some quantitative parameter, it will become much more easier to make decision. Like simply as you make the mobile phone, and if you compare with your selection of your degree. Okay, so this type of decision making. Okay, so when you have to, before making a particular decision, you have to judge it or weight it against a number of criteria. This type of decision making, we call them simply the concept of multi criteria decision making. Okay, it generally go by the many similar name, like MCDM, someone called them, some people call them MADM, like that. Okay, I will talk about all those things. Okay, so like here as an example, okay, that so till now what we are talking about, those are basically the everyday decision. Okay, so how it can be used in the research. Okay, so like I was giving that, I was talking that mostly engineering people used to do that. Okay, so like here I gave an example like water quality assessment. Okay, so water quality assessment, so the criteria was that particular water that will be drinking water, domestic water, irrigation water, or like that. Okay, and what was the alternative? Like the physical parameter, chemical. Okay, it will be much more clear. Okay, it is one of the problem networking we call under the this multi-criteria decision making. Okay, so I will make it much more easier with more practical example. Okay, so like as a history, okay, so it was introduced lot of years ago, 200 years ago, this MCDM. Okay, and MCDM technique in this research sense, okay, it was started around the 1970s. Mostly people start to work on this MCDM technique on how to utilize that for the economic or marketing research, okay, and engineering research. Okay, so I already told that engineering people are the forefront of using any social technique. Even if you go for the most core social science technique like qualitative technique, grounded theory and all those things, okay, you will find out a lot of paper which is being published by the IIT people. Okay, so it is quite surprising, okay, that instead of us they use that. Okay, so now how this multi-criteria decision making basically work. Okay, so before going to the analytical hierarchy process, which is a technique of multi-criteria decision making, okay, so let's try to have a practical example through the or practical demonstration through this mobile phone selection. Okay, I choose this topic because most of the people did that. Okay, so let's look into this thing, that how if we apply the multi-criteria decision making here, okay, how the decision being it is not working. No, I don't need internet connection. I just asked why it is not showing.
स्क्रीन में बताया लास्ट
स्क्रीन में वर्क करती है
स्क्रीन करता है केबल नेटवर्क में
और इंटरनेट बेटा रिमोट कर
डुप्लीकेट
Okay,
डुप्लीकेट
okay, so just you think that you have to choose between which mobile phone to buy. Okay, so let's look into the Excel. Now what is the first criteria generally you all look for? That is the price. Okay, so now you have a three choice maybe. Okay, like you want to choose between that Samsung, iPhone and the Oppo. Okay, so now the first criteria generally we look for, that is the price. Okay, So now when you choose between this particular this single criteria like price, okay, so most of you like people like me will go for the lowest one, 40,000. Okay, some of you who have the better off, maybe they can go for the iPhone also. Okay, but it is not the single criteria based on which you make the decision. Okay, how you make the decision? Okay, so just to think that another point is that with the single criteria decision is much more easier, because again it is first thing, it is quantitative criteria. Okay, and now you go to the second one. Maybe you also look for the screen size. Okay, you want a phone which have the lowest price, but it have the optimal or the maximum screen size with the choices you have in your hand. Okay, so like I said that this particular example like that, Samsung has Oppo has the highest screen size. Okay, so now you are looking for the lowest, the phone which have the lowest price. You are looking for the phone which have the maximum screen size. Okay, so now it is not easier that much which one to choose. Okay, so what will be the, so actually mostly what we do, we may have a number of other criteria also. Okay, so like the people which the boys, okay, they used to play game mostly. Okay, so they look for the good quality battery. Okay, like the girls, they are the fond of selfie. Okay, so they look for the good quality camera. Okay, so there is actually lot of different criteria based on which you choose your, or you make your decision. Okay, so now just you think that this is the set of the criteria and their measurement value. Till now I put like that. Okay, like another criteria was style. This screen size, price, camera, battery, these are mostly quantitative criteria. Okay, when you come to this style, that is an qualitative criteria. Okay, and as in the social science, mostly we measure the qualitative criteria as the ranking scale or the rating scale. Okay, just for our convenience, okay, I make a rating scale. Maybe in the style, okay, if it is below average, we will give it 1. Okay, if it is the excellent one, we will give it 3. Okay, so now just you think that this is the matrix or the decision point you have. So based on all these decision, you have to choose the best phone. Okay, so you are looking for maybe the lowest price, you are looking for the maximum screen size, you are looking for the average style, you are looking for the good quality camera, and also you are looking for the battery. Now you just think, okay, it is the 3 phone I presented here. In the market, how many options you have? So how you are going to make the decision with all those things? So mostly in our daily life, we make it based on the maybe the peer communication or whatever we have. Okay, so but if you want to make the scientific judgment, how you are going to do that? So you have to basically consider all this particular point, and you have to make a particular matrix which give you the optimal choice. Okay, how you are going to do that? Do you have economics people? Do you have any idea? Yeah. Okay, so now yes. The first problem you basically face here. Okay, the consumer behavior.
Budget
So that's okay. I told that is the single criteria you have. So you have to consider all these criteria.
optimal.
You are go for the optimal means you are going to create the matrix which give you the average choice value. But the first problem you will face here, that is they are all in different unit. Okay, their measurement unit are different. Okay, like you cannot directly compare based on these measurement unit, because some is rupees, some is screen size in inch, some is maybe in the image, battery, power. Okay, so the first one, and some is qualitative scale like 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now what the first thing you do, the process of the bringing them into the same parameter is we call the process of normalization. Okay, how we normalize? Dividing by
The total of that.
total of which?
The columns. The sum total of both the rows and the columns.
Okay, the sum total of the both rows and the column, but in the row it's okay, but in the in the column it's okay, but in the row how we are going to do that? They are in the different unit point. So first thing you have to, okay, normalization basically means bring them into the under the same, like when you calculate percentage, you are actually normalizing. Okay, so now the first point you will do, this normalization process is basically done. There are two particular formula. Okay, so there are a number of formula also, but here you have to look for the criteria, the quality of this criteria. If you look into the quality of the criteria, some of criteria are the cost criteria, we call them, like the price. Cost criteria simply means the more they have, okay, that is less beneficial. Okay, means the lower the value of that under that criteria, they are much more beneficial. Okay, like if it is the price is less, then it is more beneficial. Okay, and rest of is the like screen size, style, camera. These are the basically beneficial criteria. Okay, the more you have in that particular criteria under, it is better for the selection. Okay, so for the normalization of the beneficial criteria, we generally divided it with the maximum value. Okay, like if I want to normalize this one, okay, so what is the maximum value? 6.7. We simply divided this particular cell value, means xij divided by maximum xij. Okay, so if it is the value under this ith cell and jth row, okay, then ith column and jth row, so that will be 6 by 6.7. Okay, so that is the process. In case of non-beneficial criteria, basically how we do that, we divide it with the particular cell value, means we divided the minimum value with the particular cell value. Okay, so in case of this particular price, it is a non-beneficial criteria. Okay, so we divided this particular cell. Okay, we divided this cell by the minimum values. Okay, so this Excel sheet, okay, you don't require that. I will provide you the HP one. Okay, so here I did that. Okay, it's already put here. Okay, so another particular thing. Okay, mostly when you use Excel, so I think everyone of you have the certain capability of using Excel. Okay, so Excel has a particular property. Once you apply that particular formula, you can actually extend those formula, all the calculation in the Excel. Okay, but this extending is only applicable when you are extending through row. Okay, but if you want to extend through column wise, then this shortcut does not work. Okay, so how to make them work? Like, yes. So anyway, so you do when you do this particular thing, you just put dollar and then it will be okay. Everyone, okay. So now, so based on I calculated this particular normalization process by those particular two formula. Okay. So now you calculate that. So one of the most easier way to find out what is the average choice, that you make the average. Okay. So if you look into the average, it is the average value, maybe the 0.85 for the it is for the Samsung. iPhone it is around 0.61 and 0.85 for the Oppo. So now in this case, this part, the first one and the last one has the equal choice. Okay, so now up to this it is easy to understand. Okay, so now coming to the social scientific point of view. Okay, so now in actuality, what happened when you are looking for any social criteria, or you are looking for the maybe you are evaluating a particular project instrument. Okay, so now what happened in case of mobile also, like maybe these particular criteria which we evaluated earlier, we assume that they have the equal weightage for everyone. Okay, now it is quite possible that for someone the price is not a problem. Okay, but for someone it is the camera is a problem. So for each and every criteria, each and every decision maker have the different weightage. Okay, so first thing is that each and every criteria is different in the weightage or importance to every decision maker. Now second one is then that in the social setting you have to look for the weightage which is given by a number of decision maker. Like you are trying to find out, instead of your own decision, okay, you just trying to find out in the market that which is the best possible brand for a group of people who have a particular socio-economic status. You are trying to find out a particular agriculture technique which is most applicable to the particular, maybe for the marginal farmer. Okay, so there may be thousands of farmer or thousands of data point, means thousands of perception about the criteria. Okay, so you have to pull it together. So when you have this much data set, it is not that much easier. Okay, now before going to that, So now you just assume that in that before in the previous matrix we saw that they have the equal weightage. Now here I put the weightage. Okay, it's a arbitrary one. Okay, based on my understanding. Okay, so maybe for someone, okay, screen size is very important. So I give it within 1. I give the 0.35, 0.25 or all those. Okay, now when you have weightage, how you calculate the matrix? You multiply the normalized matrix with the this particular weightage. Okay, then you go for the calculation of the average. Okay, now if you do that, now you will find out that it is not the still the earlier one. Now the rank already changed. Okay, so now that last one, I think that was Oppo. Okay, so that came to the first point. Okay, so basically multi-criteria decision making is the making decision by this particular way, and knowingly or unknowingly we are doing this in your everyday life. Okay, so now going back to this particular method. So basically this whole this subject area fall under the topic which we call them this decision analysis method. Okay, so under decision analysis method, one is the single objective decision method. Okay, those you basically follow in your research, like you used to do in the Garrett ranking, rating of the problem, constants and all those things that basically fall under that particular area. Okay, now next two is the decision support system and the multi-criteria decision making, which today we will deal with. Okay, so multi-criteria decision making, again it can be divided into two broad area, which we call them this multi-attribute decision making and the multi-objective decision making. The simple difference between these two techniques is that, okay, multi-criteria decision making, there will be a number of alternatives, there will be a number of criteria, and there will be single objective. Like in case of the mobile phone example, the objective was choosing the best mobile phone. There are a number of criteria and number of alternatives, like 3 alternatives, Samsung, iPhone, and was there. Okay, so that fall under the multi-attribute decision making. So multi-objective decision making is there your objective will also be diversified. It will not be the selecting the best mobile phone. Okay, it may be particularly in setting in the social scientific setting. Okay, so each and every program have a number of objective. Okay, so that is the situation where we apply the multi-objective decision making. Okay, so today we will focus mainly on the multi-attribute decision making. Okay, under the multi-attribute decision making, we will mainly focus the two particular technique which we call the analytical hierarchy process. Another is the TOPSIS. Okay, technique of order preference by the similarity to the ideal solution. Okay, now I am not going to talk about this, what is the difference and all those things. Okay, so alternative criteria and the objective attribute I already told. Criteria is the based on which we basically evaluate the alternatives. Alternative the ultimate decision point. Okay, objective is that will be the single objective there under the multi-criteria decision making. Okay, so now the whole process of the multi-criteria decision making evolve around the forming this decision matrix. So what is the decision matrix? In this decision matrix, A1, A2, A3, A4 are the alternative. Alternative means like the mobile phone you had, those are the alternatives. Now criteria are the screen size and all those things. Okay, so this coming out with this decision matrix, that is the starting point of the any analytical hierarchy process. Okay, so now in the analytical, I will discuss this in the at the last. Okay, so it will be much more easier to understand. Okay. So now, what is basically analytical hierarchy process is? So analytical hierarchy process basically break down the whole decision problem into a network of the or into a number of layers. Okay, like here I take from the it will be also you can relate it with that. Okay, like you want to choose for the best college for your graduation or the MSc. Okay, so you have a list of colleges. So okay, which are the maybe the probable destination of your, okay, and then how you basically choose for the colleges. Okay, so you basically look for the criteria like location, ambience, reputation, academics, like that. Okay, so those are the colleges or those are the basically criteria you look for when you selected your college. Okay, so based on that your ultimate objective is to the finding the best college. Okay, so when you can this is the first point of the any analytical hierarchy process, that is breaking down the whole problem, okay, into a single into a layer of this network, okay, or into a number of layers. Okay, so now if you notice that, okay, so here in the networking process, okay, there are two type of this process we call the hierarchy formation. Okay, so in the hierarchy there will be two type of hierarchy. Okay, so in this particular hierarchical process, like criteria, they are the homogeneous in nature. Okay, like alternatives, they are the homogeneous in nature. That means the element in under the each layer of the hierarchy, they are homogeneous. Okay, and they are independent from each other. Okay, now another important point is that this type of hierarchy we call them the complete hierarchy. What is complete hierarchy? In the complete hierarchy, each descendant element, like they have to evaluate against the each of the previous element. Okay, so like this first college, okay, that will be evaluated, or that is the direct descendant of the each of the these criteria. Okay, now you consider this particular problem. Okay, so again this particular problem, that is the choosing the which is the best alternative for best alternative power plant. This particular activity was carried out in the Finland in the 1970. Okay, in the Finland parliament, they have a discussion session that which type of power plant that Finland will be the suffice for that particular this Finland ecosystem. Okay, so the option was that there no need for the big power plant. Okay, this coal-fired power plant or the nuclear power plant. Okay, so they this in the parliamentary process. Okay, they this hierarchy put this problem in this way. Okay, so their argument again, there this in the hierarchy formation also there are two particular pathways. Either you can go backward or you forward. Mean you start with your overall criteria, that is the goal, and then you come down to the alternative level, or you can start from the alternative also. Okay, so it is called the this backward chaining. Okay, so now you will find out that in this particular hierarchy formation, okay, like the each and the every sub criteria or each and the every alternatives will not be evaluated against the each of the previous one. Okay, like alternatives like no big power plant, coal power plant and nuclear power plant. Okay, they will be evaluated against this national economy, health, safety, environment, political factors and all those things. Okay, but these sub criteria, they will not be evaluated against the each one. Like the cheap electricity, that is only the criteria of national economy, not for the health and safety and environment, not for the political factors. Okay, so this type of hierarchy we call them the incomplete hierarchy. Okay, so analytical hierarchy process basically deal with this both type of hierarchy. Okay, so what are the steps in the analytical hierarchy process? So analytical hierarchy process broadly comprised of three particular steps. One is the decomposition, next one is the comparative judgment, and last one is the synthesis of the priorities. Okay, so now decomposition means the putting the problem into the hierarchical structure. Okay, so now what is the next step? Next step is the measurement part. Okay, the comparative, I told the comparative measurement. Okay, so whole of the process of the analytical hierarchy, that is based on the pairwise comparison of the each and every element in the each level. Like we want to compare the three options, like three alternative this iPhone, mobile, Oppo and Samsung. Okay, among themselves using a 9-point rating scale. Okay, so under the analytical hierarchy process, okay, the originator of this particular method, okay, they propose a 9-point rating scale to choose to compare between each and every element of the different level of hierarchy. Okay, so like here the colleges will be, you can compare these colleges among themselves in this particular 9-point scale. Okay, now next process will be the comparing the criteria. Okay, among themselves, like you will compare which one is the best one, location, ambience, reputation and academics, and what is the weight of this particular criteria in your decision making. Okay, so that is again done through using this particular 9-point scale. Okay, so now this is one of the example that how much accurate this analytical hierarchy process can get itself. Okay, so one study was carried out in the USA that which drink is mostly sold in the US. Okay, so by taking the opinion of maybe a number of people, okay, 1000 or something, sample size I forget. Okay, so they come up with this particular decision matrix. Okay, so how the decision is made? This matrix is basically built by the pairwise comparison. Okay, like the pairwise comparison is simply like that you are given two options, coffee and the wine. Okay, which one you like more and how much you used to consume that more. Okay, so maybe someone can tell that I used to consume more coffee than the wine. Okay, so then this 9-point scale which I saw earlier, okay, that was used for to find out how much more time they can actually use to consume that thing. Okay, so after doing, okay, how to build this matrix also. Okay, how will come up in this matrix. Okay, basically after utilizing or after calculating the ranking based on this particular matrix, they come up with that this 0.327 was water was the mostly bought drink in the USA. Okay, the study was for which drink is mostly bought by the consumer in the USA. Okay, and followed by your I think it will be T. Okay, so if you go to the actual sales data in the US, okay, so that also typically similar to this particular finding. Okay, that was also water was the highest, though the quantitative values were different. Okay, followed by T